Okay, you are live. So this is so weird. I don't know if I'm on. It says it won't be recorded on Streamyard, but I believe I am live on YouTube. So if I am, and you can see this, welcome. If you see it later, enjoy, and let me know in the comments if you are here on the replay. I am over 50 and figuring it out. Well, technically I'm 51, so not that much over 50, but over 50. And new to content creation. So I wanted to just see what it's like to go live on YouTube because I love going live on Facebook and Instagram. But if your goal is to grow your YouTube channel, where do you need to go live? On YouTube, right? So here I am, over 50, figuring it out. So I'm taking y'all along with me. So I want to know too, what are you getting better at? Because like I'm getting better at being a beginner to content creation, being self-employed, being, I don't want to say a new entrepreneur because I had a business before this that I was doing with card creation. I might do some of that on this channel. Because I didn't have a YouTube channel for card creation, but when I started my YouTube channel initially, like the first videos I would put up, I was working in my gift business, but now I am helping women overcome childhood trauma to use their voice in the world. So, if that sounds like something you're interested in, then I hope that you would subscribe, share, like, and talk about it with your friends and let them come over and subscribe as well. So, I just randomly went live, so I don't really have like a planned commentary, but um I do have a book out called Bear, either one. And it is about my life growing up in foster care and adoption and some of the life lessons that God taught me along the way and some of my poetry. And I'm working on some content for a 21-day challenge that I will be doing in the coming month about hidden trauma, like things that we're not acknowledging, that we're not acknowledging it or that we are unaware of that and how it is bleeding all over our life. And I thought about the fact that it is domestic violence month, but domestic violence awareness month, which every month should be, we need to bring awareness to things that we don't often talk about until a holiday or a special occasion comes up or the situation is at our front door. And one of those things that I thought about in my book is a hard topic that I guess I should preface with a trigger warning because on Face It Friday, we face things that we wouldn't normally discuss or talk about. So now that I'm thinking about that topic, let's get into it. So when I was writing my book, there was a story that was really, really a battle for me to decide if I wanted to include it or not. And it's called School Clothes in my book. If you've read it, you know. If you have not, it is about a situation where I was being molested and was pretty much slapped by my stepmother and told that it was pretty much my fault why it was happening. If I wouldn't have been where I was, I would have never been in that situation. And I'm sharing that because in the section of my book, the thing that helped me say that I wanted to include it was because there are people who have experienced what I have experienced who don't feel worthy of a caring, loving, romantic partner, a consensual partnership. They don't value their bodies. They don't value themselves. They don't see themselves as sexual, sensual, or and they may even believe that they are wrong about what happened to them. Talking to one of my clients the other day, and she, was going through sharing some of the traumatic things she's experienced, and talked about how she felt wrong and dirty and nasty and all these things. And it just reminded me that it's not just enough to talk about getting over the trauma and sharing what has happened to you, but there are things that are like the residue of that thing still lays there sometimes, and no one has any place for that to land. And the reason why I was able to share it and get over the idea of, should I put this in a book or shouldn't I put it in a book? Not so much as worried about the other person or what my family would say, or that that played a role, but not as big a role as what I'm about to share. So I'm not going to go into the details of the event per trigger warning, but I'll read this section of why I shared it, and for the people who need this, I hope that it resonates with you. But and I don't know if I should read the whole thing. I don't know if I can on here. I'm not sure. But when I play this moment back in my mind, thoughts go everywhere. Even as a teenager who knows right from wrong, I feel betrayed by my body. Then to be slapped as if you acted alone and no consequence given to the aggressor confirms you must be wrong. The depth of this scar still permeates my life as an adult. Not in a crippling way, but being reminded of the pain I was in during this time. These words are for any other young lady or now grown woman carrying the story of a sexual abuse encounter, whether it be molestation or rape, no matter if by someone you trusted or a stranger. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. You deserve love and physical touch in a safe, trusting, consensual manner. You deserve love and physical touch in a safe, trusting, consensual manner. Every day I do my best to never let this moment steal my freedom. The freedom of forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness. I never have to spend time with or around this person. So why let them or this moment continue to plague my life and future? A future that God has planned with love and abundance. I know what some of you may be thinking. If God has great plans for my life and yours, why would this happen to us? The sovereignty of God is unknown and unmatched. What I believe is that He allowed it to shed light on the brokenness in my life, family, and the world. By telling my story and healing process, I now will be able to heal others and their families all over the world. Oftentimes, we see good things as the only right things. That's not always the clear view. Sometimes we have to find or become the good thing that came from a bad situation. And that is what that's portion of this section. Like there's more like telling the actual story of what happened to me here. Um, but that is what gave me the courage to add that story to my book. I wasn't going to talk about, I talked about the physical things that happened to me, but I wasn't going to share that particular story until I got comfortable enough to say, you know what, this is my truth. This is how I experience it, but this is what other people will need to know so that they can experience what's on the other side of what they went through. And I am grateful that I have a publisher and a friend who, either way, she was supportive. So that helps me a lot. But when she asked me the question of, why did you include this story in the initial list of stories you wanted? Now that we almost to the end of the book and it's, we're deciding if this is going to be included. What do you want people to know when you share it? And what I just read to you is what I wanted people to know. I wanted people to know that they can have a consensual, safe, affectionate relationship with a partner and not let the residue of somebody else's baggage and pain and problems keep them from experiencing the love that God has for them. Not just from God, but from the person that He designed for you to be in love with and to be in love with you. So I'm sharing that because one, pain happens, disappointment happens, tragedies are happen, but life is not only about those negative moments. It's about who you become in spite of those moments. So I just wanted that to, come across in that message. I didn't think I was gonna share that, but it's Face It Friday, so you gotta face it. You can't fix what you don't face. So that's one thing. The other thing is I'm over 50. I'm doing this content thing now. I'm learning a lot about who I'm becoming. I am also a college freshman. Like, that's a whole other thing. So all these new things, sharing my story out like this in the world. My book is available where all books are sold, which means that anybody in the world, anywhere, can read that story about my life, and a lot of other things. And the hiccup for me was being a better beginner. Being a better beginner at talking about my story, being a better beginner at putting content out, being a better beginner as being a student after 50, and being out of school for over 30 years, being a better beginner at living as a self-employed person. Like, I worked for 28 years with the same organization, 28 years. And now not getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, not knowing, whatever you kill, you eat. Like, you got to go out here and get it. It ain't, just punching a clock and whether you do the work or not. We won't talk about that, having employees that I had for 9 years. But whether you do the work or not, you getting paid. But now you have to do the work. You have to show up. You have to go out and find the work some days. Well, most days, really. So all of this is new to me. And even going live today, here now, like putting this video out the way I am, random. No, I like my daughter said the other day, "Oh, we know, mommy, you're not a rule breaker." But I guess that's something else new. Like, I'm not breaking a rule by doing this, but like the rules, say you got to know how to edit, and you got to know what tools to use and how to go live, and what are, like it's just said on here, Streamyard won't be recording. So I'm like, okay, well, Streamyard is not recording. Does that mean I won't be able to go back to get the feed or whatever when this will just be live on YouTube? Okay. But it's like learning. I think I'm excited about the adventure of just learning. Like, that was something I did a podcast episode. I do have a podcast as well called Mirrored Experience. Some of the episodes I share right here on my channel. And if you listen to podcasts and you prefer podcasts over video, check out Mirrored Experience. But I say that because I just turn on the microphone and I'm just turning on the camera, and I'm just like, the rules technically for doing content are made up. Like, whatever you want to share is up to you. So is there really any rules? I mean, like, yeah, how you want it to look, the lighting, the sound, all those things probably matter to how you do a thing. Editing, getting the positioning just right, all those things, sound effects in the background, everything is up to you, really, when you're doing this thing. So I'm learning. I'm getting better at learning. Having descriptions and links and all the things that are supposed to be in your videos and your podcast episodes, even call to actions, like all the things you learn. I've learned all these things. I know of them, but it is different from knowing a thing and applying a thing. Applied knowledge is wisdom. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm applying. I learned about StreamYard. Now I'm applying it. I can't get good at it if I don't use it. So I can know about it, but if I never tried it, like going live today right here on YouTube, I won't be good at it. I won't get better at the thing that I'm learning. So no point in, just like with schoolwork, like I'm writing assignments and peer communication, learning more information, reading more books. But until I actually am using the information that I'm getting, I'm gaining my degree, it really won't be effective. So learning something and applying it two different things. As my friend would like to say, you have to strike the hammer. You can't perfect the recipe without making cookies. So you don't know that the cookies are disgusting until you bake them. You don't know that they are delicious and they melt in your mouth until you bake them. So you can know the recipe, you can have all the ingredients, but until you mix them up and put them in that oven and let them cook for a certain amount of time, you don't know. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm getting better at being a beginner and putting myself out here in ways that, as Gary Vee would share, like just create, document. That's what I'm doing. I'm just documenting. I'm just getting out here and talking, telling people what I'm learning, sharing, and also how I'm serving people. You know, like I mentioned, I have clients who I coach. I am a trauma and leadership coach. I am creating content. I wrote a book. I'm writing another book. There's a companion journal to go with it. I'm also in somebody else's book. I contributed to another book. I recently did an article that's on medium.com about personal growth and how we can grow every day. And the daily steps to that. I give 5 tips on that. So that's over on medium.com. Thank you to Authority Magazine for inviting me to do the interview. So I am out here doing the things, but I think that we let ourselves forget to play after a certain age. And I'm not saying that I don't take this opportunity to see what's out there for myself seriously, obviously, because I'm learning what to do. But playing, like when we were kids, we would run around and we would look in nature and trees and pull leaves, and you ate berries and stuff off vines and stuff outside. You ran around, you picked up butterflies, caterpillars, you caught bees and explored. And I think that we forget to do that, you know, after 50, sometimes after 40 or 30, you know, people will be like, oh, I'm about to be 30. Oh my God, you just figuring out who you are at 30. But 50, 60, 70, I'm praying that God lets me see 60 and 70 and 80. But we forget to play, to explore, to enjoy with the adventure. We get so caught up in all the rules of paying the bills and making sure we take care of our home and our, you know, we get on the health journey, and all that is great, but enjoy the process too. Like enjoy that you're learning how to take care of your health, or meal prep, or get better at exercising every day, or 3 to 5 times a week, or 10 minutes a day, whatever that thing is. Don't forget to play, to enjoy the opportunity that you get to still use this body, to this brain, this heart, to speak out, to share your message. Don't forget to enjoy the journey. Like play is a part of every day. After 50, you are not dead. And you can enjoy life in ways that you never imagined. And it doesn't always require, you know, to pack a bag and go on a vacation and a big trip. Find the little things in your life every day, the joy that you can spark in every day. Like every day, be getting better at something. Try something new. Play. Don't, you know, like we talk about how kids don't go outside and play anymore. And it's the same on the other end. Like we don't look at things as adventure. It's like we have to be responsible. Responsible can also be fun. Like you don't have to be so rigid. And this goes for me too. This is why I'm out here doing what I'm doing, because getting it right was always the goal for me. And getting it right leads to perfectionism, which is an illusion and control. And all those things are not real. You are not in control of the outcome. The outcomes are up to God. So, but you do have to put in an effort to see the results that you do desire. Like the outcome, controlling that. You can't control people if they're included in it. And you can't control the outcome. Like you can just do the work that is required and that's necessary for the result to add up. But who it reaches, how far it reaches, it's really not up to you. I mean, even just on social media, the algorithm is the algorithm is the algorithm, and you don't control that. I'm putting this video out. I'm doing this live. I don't know who will see it. I don't know who will be touched by it. When I put my book out, the back of my book, it has a line that says, this is a book about real evolution. And if you are the one person my book was for, it was worth it. I don't know. My book has sold several copies now, and even all over the world. I got a royalty check for December of last year recently. Like, I don't know who all is buying my book all the time everywhere. So, or who's passing it along. I have some friends who have read some of my poetry to friends on the beach. So, you never know who's sharing your story or your content or the thing that you put out there. All you know is that you put it out there. So that means you struck the hammer. You cooked the cookies, like you baked the cookies. So the recipe is being perfected. Now, is there a systematic, ritual way to do things that will yield success? Absolutely. But you don't have to be just tied to one way of doing things. And then to not only not be tied to one way of doing it, don't be so rigid about how it's done, and have fun doing it. Be excited about the next thing that you're learning, the new thing that you're experiencing, and enjoy the process. Over 50 and figuring it out, baby. It's Face It Friday. I'm facing the things that have come my way that were tough, and I'm facing the things that have come my way that I am enjoying. So, and that is the combination of life. So, with that, I'm gonna leave y'all. I've been on here rattling long enough. I am excited that I went live just to see how you do it. It won't be my last time. I usually go live on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm working on being more consistent on YouTube. So I thought I would try my hand at going live over here. And I am glad that I did. So if you found anything in this video useful, or that you know somebody who could use the information, please by all means share with them. And if you liked anything here, be sure to subscribe and tell a friend. Turn on your notification bells because, like I said, I'm getting more consistent at 50 and figuring it out. So I will see you in the next video, because I don't know if it'll be live or pre-recorded. But the next video, come back, check me out. I hope to see you again. Thank you, and bye for now. Until next time, as I say on my podcast, love well.